1420 did what? So they went to the streets in Russia and they asked people if they enjoy autocracy. Yo, we have to check this out.
Средства массовой информации зарубежные говорят то, что в России автократия. Вот вы, как гражданин России, ощущаете ее?
Да, конечно.
Yes, for sure.
Вот честно, я не помню, что такое автократия.
Автократия – это форма государственного управления, когда лидер страны имеет верховную власть.
That's a fact?
Да, не могу не согласиться.
Конституционная монархия? А почему?
Меня когда-нибудь посадят за это. Ну, несменяемость власти практически, и Конституция соблюдается формально, и как бы это все выглядит со стороны так, как будто
просто
это так есть.
Поправки на поправках, но на самом деле они как бы принимаются постфактум, когда уже придумали, как сделать какую-то херню, ее надо еще оправдать.
Я считаю, что когда-нибудь мы дойдем до того, что, наверное, действительно это будет, вот как это официально в учебниках написано, так и будет конституционная
Yeah,
монархия.
she's
До демократии
correct.
какой-либо, ну, я не знаю, сколько лет должно пройти, чтобы это произошло. Возможно, произойдет когда-нибудь, но сейчас сложно загадывать.
Но чем ближе конец империи, тем безумнее ее законы.
The closer we are to the end of empire, the crazier her laws, so we have a hope. So they think like there will be a revolution soon. I really hope there will be, like some stuff needs to change in Russia. Like I see each time I watch like interviews of people in Russia or like here on 1420's channel, like a lot of people are actually upset with the government. Like they don't want this kind of autocracy. They want like freaking democracy. They want like always leaders to change. There's like a survey, right, that like especially like younger people, they want to see more often a change in regime, like a new person in power basically and stuff. And it makes sense because if you're not happy with like a current situation, you want to have like a better, newer situation, right? So if a new person becomes the president, maybe this new person brings in new ideas and can fix some stuff, right? So if people are unhappy with certain moves that were done by the president, they hope for another president does different moves, right? Makes sense. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And I feel sorry for the people because it's kind of like you want to speak up, but if you do, you go to jail, and that sucks.
Тем безумнее ее законы.
Like everyone has like an opinion, but they can't
Ну, отлично для
express
вас.
it.
Какая форма правления была бы идеальной в России?
Демократия, конечно.
Я считаю, что так должен быть режим, иначе не сработает.
What?
Государство просто провалится и будет хаос.
Кого не будет?
Автократия.
Почему провалится?
Может существовать один государь в стране, и никто при этом не должен ему мешать или ей мешать. Вот, и я считаю, что нет ничего плохого в этом.
But that's literally the same as in a democracy. I will explain you guys why this is the same actually. So she's saying there should be a king tsar, we must let him or her do the job. And then she said there's nothing bad about this. And guess what? If you have a democracy and you elect a president, the president also does stuff to fix the country, right? Like, oh, there are like some issues. Maybe let's say pensioners, they don't get enough money and they have like a very hard way of living because there's not enough money if you go into pension, for example. So a president can fix this, but if you see the president doesn't fix this, you as the people, you have the chance to speak up and say, hey, this president sucks, doesn't do what we want, doesn't help the country, we want to elect a new one. So the people can literally kick off a president from the chair basically if this president does bullshit, right? But if you have like an autocracy, you can't do this. So let's say people disagree, like, and a lot do actually, with like Mr. Putin. So what can you do about Mr. Putin? You can do nothing, right? Because there's like this autocracy. However, if there was a way for, let's say, if a certain amount of people, like 60% of the population, are against the president, then the president gets kicked off of the chair and a new candidate will be elected or something, one that does the things right. Or let's say there's like a lot of climate change going on. There are like two presidents, and one president, or what she says ruler, He just cares about like making money and doesn't care about the environment. And the other one cares about the environment, and the majority of people want to protect the environment. So they can go for the candidate as a president that can fix the environment, right? And save nature and stuff. So that's the thing right now. I don't see a difference between a monarchy or autocracy and a democracy when it comes to the execution of the laws in a way, right? Like, sure, there's like a bit of more paperwork when it comes to democracy and stuff, and you have like parties and stuff. But at the end of the day, they do the same thing. Like, if you look at like how Putin makes laws and how certain European countries make laws, like there's so much similarity. The only difference is one is a democracy and one isn't. But it's better for the people if you have a democracy, because you can control the president and not the president can control you. And that's what I like about democracies.
Вот, и я считаю, что нет ничего плохого в этом.
That's the
То есть
first
наше
young
государство
person to
просто не
say
может
that I saw today.
функционировать.
По крайней мере, да. Так сейчас нет.
Ну как? Наш президент был всенародно избран, например. Наша Дума была всенародно избрана. Я считаю, что это все происки наших врагов.
Мгм.
Вот так.
Ну а
да.
кто наши враги?
Наши враги, они известны. Это, так сказать,
He takes long to find the enemies.
Ну, американцы, так скажите.
мировой капитал. Мировой капитал является нашим врагом. Вот. Мировой капитал, безусловно, он и распускает все эти слухи, да, что в России авторитаризм, что якобы ничего народ не влияет. Влияет все народ. На самом деле вся политика России, которая сейчас происходит, она целиком и полностью обусловлена запросом народа и мнением народа. Вот.
Ну, то есть чувствуете, ощущается вот эта вот автократия?
Разумеется, все, насколько я могу так понимать, все три этой власти, которые, по идее, должны быть независимы, а даже 4 со СМИ, они,
Smart one.
по сути, под его контролем, а это, неправильно, так не должно быть, поэтому он в целом все контролирует.
That's true. Probably you guys have also heard about the news that certain generals or certain staff members, they were like kicked out and replaced, and this happens quite a lot these last months and years, that people that are in certain departments are constantly getting replaced and stuff. It's kind of like, oh yeah, there is someone controlling, I mean Mr. Putin in this case, right? There is someone controlling everything, who can work in this office, who can work there and there. I would just select everyone, stuff like that. And then like if someone is, let's say, more pro-democratic or more anti-war, what will happen? Of course, the president won't let him be in this branch of the government, right?
По сути, под его контролем, а это, неправильно, так не должно быть, поэтому он в целом все контролирует и полностью, как сказать, полностью. Разумеется, там на местах...
Mostly are his friends, actually.
Там кто-то умнее, кто-то глупее, действует по-разному, но в целом система сейчас исходит от него. Это, тоже так же, не самое правильное построение государства, система.
Ну а какая самая правильная система? Ну, по-вашему лично.
Как там говорили про капитализм, то есть, он не очень, но у нас лучше нет. То же самое про демократию, но демократии тоже могут управлять.
Yeah, money rules the world.
Не знаю, сложно сказать, но все-таки люди чуть более защищены в демократиях, можно так сказать.
Yeah.
Ну вот в Северной Корее там Ким Чен Ын, да, он один управляет.
Он не один. Там, во-первых, целая семья, раз. Это династия. Вот, два. Во-вторых,
That's not true.
Вы не путайте, как бы...
That's not true. Guess what happened? Wasn't there like a relative of Kim Jong-un and he got this one executed because he spoke against him something? Was this like his uncle or so? I read in the news like one relative was like executed because he said something that he didn't agree with or so. Yo, that's not true.
Не один. Там, во-первых, целая семья.
No.
Это династия. Вот, два. Во-вторых,
That would be nice actually if it was like that, because they could stop some crazy
менталитет
stuff.
совершенно другой. То есть там люди изначально, они готовы и привыкли подчиняться, в отличие там, от нас.
У нас же довольно такое схожее прошлое, тоже там к коммунизму шли.
Так почему у нас коммунизм-то ушел? Потому что мы, психологически, физически мы не выдерживаем. Не выдержали царя, не выдержали коммунистов. Один хрен. мы свободные люди. У корейцев немножко по-другому. У них изначально иерархия как бы идет такая, то, что у них, ну, как бы культ подчинения. То есть, ну, нельзя сравнивать, это совершенно разные вещи.
То есть у нас более свободная страна.
У нас менталитет другой, я бы вот так сказал. Я бы не сказал насчет более свободной, это не нам решать, да?
Ну а сами хотели бы в каком...
You know what? You can read out. This guy, he like knows something. He knows, oh shit, we're an autocracy. But how do I say it without getting in trouble? I'm not sure if it's like the sun that makes his face red, but maybe he's also a bit nervous. Like the issue now is like certain people have like a lot of people have certain opinions, right? But the problem now is if they speak up, they fear they could get into trouble. And if you're like a father of like multiple smaller kids or something, you're like worried about getting locked up and going to jail, and then who takes care of your small kids and stuff, right? So I feel like a lot of people that want to rebel in a way against like the current system there, they are too worried about what will happen to their family. What if they leave, or what if they're like the main income, like the main salary in the household, right? Like, it is risky these days to demonstrate, but people like should demonstrate so they can show their opinion and they can push for a change. But at the same time, it takes. I think the only way this can work is if the amount of people is high enough. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Let's say Moscow has a jail, and in this jail there can be 800, okay, maybe it's not 800, let's say 1,100 inmates at the same time. What is if 7,000 people go to the streets, or 10,000 at the same time? They don't even have enough space in jail. They can't lock them up. Like, the police will be going crazy. What are they going to do? Are they going to use guns and shoot people on the street? I don't think they do that, right? So if you have like literally 5,000-6,000 people demonstrating, they don't have enough jail cells, so they can't arrest. It's simple as that. Or they had like those buses, right? I saw. Like, I'm pretty sure they can only bring like 2 or 3 buses. So what if you have enough people to fill up 20 plus buses? They can't do nothing. Then how do you pick, like, why is this one getting punished and this one not? Like, if there was like more demonstrations, their computer would freaking explode, because they can't even collect that much data. Like, it's gonna be crazy.
Другой, я бы вот так сказал. Я бы не сказал насчет более свободной, это не нам решать, да?
Ну а сами хотели бы в каком государстве больше жить? Демократичном или автократия?
Между. 50-50.
А?
Почему в демократии не хотели бы жить?
Нет, я бы хотела, но, честно, я не знаю идеального...
Примера.
Да.
Конечно, демократию хочется.
Yeah.
Но демократию как где? В Штатах тех же?
Я думаю, что как бы...
What the heck is he wearing though? What happy human. I love his shirt, I swear. And yeah, like here we see again, he wants also democracy, and there are like a lot of people that want that. And that's sad. Like, imagine the majority of the population want a certain way of government, but the government... But I have some good news for like the new generation. Like, I have seen something about a lot of states that have some sort of communism and stuff, and that's that, like, this generation that is into autocracy, they're dying out. Like, they're getting really, really old. Like, if Putin is not stopped now, in 10-20 years he will be stopped by nature, because his biological clock is still ticking, right? So maybe in 8 or 10 years he's no more on this planet because of old age, because he's already 70. Like, it's unlikely he's over 80 president. Like, maybe he's alive, but he will be like a pensioner or something. Like, I don't think it's possible. And then his staff, like the people working for him, they're all in their 60s, 70s too. They are really old. And like the younger generation, they are so democratic and they think so open-minded. So, like, politicians are getting more and more replaced by younger ones that have a different way of thinking. It's like a war between not just like people, but between like generations, right? Like the clash of generations. That's what I'm calling it.
В Штатах тех же?
Я думаю, что как в Америке демократия самый интересный вариант.
В таком случае, как в Штатах.
Because you have protection.
Я даже просто сошлюсь на рейтинг качества жизни. Ну, он же составляется, и чисто статистически мы видим, что вот самый высокий рейтинг у стран с демократией. Поэтому проще предположить, что да, наверное, демократия будет главным выбором. Но я уверен, что будь у нас там самая настоящая демократия, все равно было бы куча вещей, которые бы мне не нравились.
Знаете, именно в честной демократии. Именно в честной демократии, и чтобы не бояться за свободу мысли.
А есть какие-нибудь примеры стран, где вот по-вашему реализована эта самая честная демократия?
Это очень сложно. Более-менее объективная, адекватная — это Германия. Все упорядочено, то есть даже мысли людей, они достаточно упорядочены. Все по полочкам разложено. Если даже брать примеры, если у нас вот пробки есть, да, на дороге,
we have strict traffic laws,
потому что нет культуры вождения. В Германии каждая машина будет ехать друг за другом в одинаковом скоростном режиме, и, соответственно, пробки не будет. То есть была там многократно, могу подтвердить. Ну вот таково мое мнение.
We have good traffic here.
Некоторые вот респонденты, которые до вас отвечали, говорили то, что в России нельзя делать демократию, а то страна вся развалится.
Нет, я так не считаю.
Нужна жесткая рука.
It's always a heavy hand.
Как говорил наш любитель жестких рук.
Like the thing is about heavy hand, it doesn't matter if it's autocracy or democracy. They're going to take heavy actions. I give you guys an example here in Germany. When COVID happened, a lot of very strict laws were made. Like you have to wear a mask everywhere if you enter the bus, if you go to the supermarket. Like there is an implementation that is done that is like necessary. So that's probably what they mean by strong hand. Like actions must be taken to certain problems. But the same happens in a democracy. The only difference is, like I said earlier about democracy and autocracies, in democracy you have protection as people, because if you disagree with the president you can do something. In an autocracy you just can't do it. That's like the main difference, but otherwise there are like a lot of similarities between those two forms of rule. The only thing is autocracy is not safe and free for the population, while democracy is, because you can always change and reshape your government each couple of years, right?
Как говорил наш любитель жестких рук, рано или поздно она начнет вас душить.
Потому что эта жесткая рука начнет нас очень быстро душить. И мы это...
Ну вот вам лично кажется, у нас свободнее народ, чем, примерно, народ в Америке?
Ну, они все на кредитах висят. Ну, например, у меня там, люди, ребята, да, там, одноклассники живут в Америке. Но я бы не сказал, что они прям в восторге. Нет, да, хорошо, все, там, никто не трогает, но ты постоянно финансово зависим. То есть, если вдруг ты теряешь работу, все, тебе хана, считай.
No,
как бы, там,
not in Germany, not in America.
Немножко по-другому, то есть, все-таки какая-то социалочка есть, какая-никакая. Не скажу, что прям...
Actually, the social help in Germany is really nice. If you lose a job in Germany, okay, shit, I shouldn't advertise this, otherwise, like, people take advantage of it. But here in Germany, I know some people, and this is a true story, okay? Like, it sounds crazy, but I know some people that lost their job, and they would, like, be fined for 1, 2, even some for 3 years. And they would sit at home, and they would still receive money in their bank account. Because we have this kind of social protection. And this happens sometimes to people where maybe their company closes down because of some issues. It's not like people are lazy and they quit, but there are sometimes situations where people really lose a job. And then here in Germany, they have like 1 or 2 years some sort of financial help that they get, right? And until then, they usually have a new job. Like, I don't know too many people that were like for 4 or 5 years without a job. I can't think of anyone. Like the most amount, like the longest was like 1 or 2 years I know from people, and one almost 3 years, but never longer. And they all got like monthly salary, so yeah. But not salary from like the company they used to work in, but from the government.
Не скажу, что прям отличная, но все равно какой-то парашютик маленький есть. Там все, если ты никому не нужен, то как бы гуляй, Вася.
Ну вот у нас вот обычных россиян есть какая-то возможность повлиять на то, чтобы у нас была демократия? Или это не от нас зависит?
Не думаю, к сожалению, не думаю так.
Ну а почему? Очень сильная какая-то репрессивная машина или что?
Скорее, я бы сказала, депрессивная машина. Именно депрессивная машина. Вот. Ладно, мне пора уже.
Oh, she's worried. Wow, that was really good. I have to give this one a thumbs up. And like Daniel, like from 1420, he's such a brave one. Like the whole team, everyone that's like behind 1420. Like, to go on the streets like that in Moscow and in other parts of Russia and then asking those questions, like this is like true bravery, because each time they go to interview people, they're also risking to be arrested or something. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out 1420 at their channel, like, please subscribe. Like, what they're doing, like, they're heroes. Like, seriously, Daniel, he's a hero. But yeah, as you guys can see, a lot of people, they do want, in fact, democracy, but their voice is like not being heard. And this is why, like, some people are now sabotaging and doing crazy stuff like burning down buildings, because like people want to be heard, and if they can't be heard and they are like constantly oppressed, they are going to more violent measures and stuff to express it, or they're going to spray walls and stuff on the streets. I've heard there's like a lot of artwork going on, like a demonstration artwork in the streets of Russia, and that's because they can't speak up. So they're going to literally like some building streets and just paint stuff or put stickers somewhere. But yeah, interesting. Like, it's always interesting to see how people think there and stuff. Like, what's their take on the whole situation, right? But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.